So like they just needed to get familiar with it, and time expiring actually just meant that, hey, the Lindy effect is here. I'm like, this isn't going to go away. That had some contribution. Two is there's probably some element of like they needed time to do the work internally. The third one is you need the people who work in the institutions to become Bitcoiners personally before they then go advocate to convince the institution to be like a Bitcoin holder or an investor. And we can talk about many stories where institutions literally, there's like one person inside the organization, they're the Bitcoiner, they convince their buddy convinces another person. And the next thing you know, it's like half the team is holding Bitcoin or crypto in general. And then they go and they do it as an institution. And then also you needed like a different form factor. Like go on Coinbase was never going to be a thing for an institution because that's just not what they do. We early on had a venture fund and we told institutions, hey, it's a venture fund. We're going to invest in the equity of these companies, but we're going to buy a little bit of Bitcoin, like 15%, give or take, I think was the first fund. The amount of effort that we had to do in diligence to explain that Coinbase was a qualified custodian that was going to hold the Bitcoin, that was like 80% of the diligence conversation. So even though Coinbase to all of us was like, oh, of course, this is like the safest thing possible. Like, at least we're not on name your external, international exchange. To them, they were like, I never heard of Coinbase. Like, what is that thing? Who owns it? Who's regulating it, et cetera. And so I think that that's like really the confluence of why the institutions finally have started to allocate is like you needed the ETFs to get approved. You needed them to have time. You needed people internally to buy Bitcoin.